Hi, and welcome back to the next episode of Up to 5 Minutes, where in less than 5 minutes, you'll be updated in the world of real estate and mortgage lending and hopefully sound a little bit smarter at your next cocktail party. My name is Eric Forte, a licensed real estate agent with KW Empower in Center City, Philadelphia.
I'm Alton O'Shields, a loan officer in Philadelphia with Guaranteed Rate. So Eric, the Olympics are going on in Paris right now, and there's a very interesting connection between Philly and Paris. What is that?
Absolutely. There's a lot of great historical connections between Paris and Philadelphia, but what we're talking about today is the Ben Franklin Parkway, which was inspired by the Champs-Elysees. The Ben Franklin Parkway was first conceived in the late 19th century during the City Beautiful movement. And it was really driven by prominent Philadelphians who wanted a grand boulevard to connect City Hall to Fairmount Park. The goal of building this grand boulevard was to beautify the city and alleviate the congestion that was caused by the city's tight grid pattern.
So why did they choose Paris as the inspiration for the parkway?
Well, the two main architects for the parkway were French. So it wasn't Americans mimicking Paris, it was French architects who wanted to bring a bit of Paris to Philadelphia. And those two architects were Paul Cret and Jacques Grébert. The goal of the parkway was to create lush green spaces and have Logan Square be the center point at which would mimic the Place de la Concorde in Paris. Over time, the parkway became really the cultural center of Philadelphia. And while in the original design, the parkway was not supposed to be lined with buildings, over time, that's exactly what happened. You had City Hall and then the endpoint being the Art Museum. And in between, the Franklin Institute was built, the Rodin Museum was built, the Free Library of Philadelphia was built, and that continues today as recently in the last 20 years, the new Barnes Museum was built on the parkway, and eventually the Alexander Calder Museum, which is under construction as we speak, will be opening soon. And not to mention the African American History Museum will be moving to the parkway at some point as well.
It's hard to imagine Philadelphia without the parkway now.
Absolutely, and just imagine all the political wrangling that went on during that time, and it took approximately 50 to 60 years from the original concept of this grand boulevard to actual construction being built. And I think it's important to remember as we sit here today that it's in Philadelphia's DNA to do big things. And we should keep that in mind as new projects that will change the status quo come up. Usually they turn out really well for the city. Thanks for spending up to 5 minutes with us today and learning a little bit about Philadelphia's cultural history.
Make sure that you follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram to keep up with all the latest news. Later this week, we'll have a market rate update for you as well.